All right, hey everybody.
Welcome to the October office hours. We are, as usual, going to give everybody another minute or two to sign on to the webinar, keep filing in, and then we will kick off. Reggie will kick off with his product updates, and I will kick off with the Instagram tips and tricks and some things you need to know about your profile before you start using it with Fanbooster, or maybe to improve how you use it with Fanbooster. So we'll give everybody another minute here, and then we'll get started.
Hey Pam, just giving us a quick shout out there in the comments. How's it going, Pam? Glad to have you back on this month's office hours.
Oh, a couple highs. It's so good to see you guys again. This is our favorite day of the month. I'll give a quick plug while we're waiting as well. If you like to talk to me once a month, imagine how much you would like to talk with me twice a month. And we have a webinar also coming out this week. That's happening on Thursday. It's going to be 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And I'm also going to, kind of talk through what that's about at the end so everybody can hear, but that's going to be, if you're a smaller agency, you're consulting some of the processes that will help you on the business side of things. Okay, so it's 1:03. Should we kick off?
All right, we can get started.
Do it.
All right, looks like we've got a couple more people who joined in since we turned it on. So this is a recap for those of you who this might be the first time joining us. My name is Reggie. I'm the product manager here at Fanbooster Project, and this is Anna. Anna, you want to give a quick intro?
Yes, I'm the marketing manager at Traject. I use the tool to do all of the social media for all the Traject brands the same way that you guys are in the tool every day. So I usually come on here and I'll share some strategy things or some tips or some ways that I use the tool that I think will be helpful.
Yeah, there you go. So we usually like to kind of kick off this call every month by giving you guys a couple of updates as far as some things that are new in the product, some things that are coming out soon with the software. Maybe there's an update coming out, a new feature that we're excited to share with you guys. If you were around last month, that's when we announced the Instagram direct posting functionality there. And towards the end of today's session, after we go through some strategy, some feature updates, we're also going to open up the Q&A. So there's a questions tab down there. If you have any questions you want us to go through or anything, maybe just some curious about a certain feature and how it plays into your social strategy, drop that into the questions. We'll make sure that either myself or Anna goes through it, okay? Go ahead and start sharing my screen. Take a look. All right, Anna, let me know if you can see my screen okay. Awesome, perfect. That's my nightmare is going through the entire thing and realizing that nobody can see my screen. All right, cool. So we wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things. There's been a lot of questions that have come up as a result of our conversation last month. Some questions around, Instagram posting. Instagram's a big deal, obviously, and that's bringing the Instagram publishing, direct publishing functionality was a huge deal. And so we wanted to kind of clear some things up and help you guys to understand how all of this works. Why does it work? How do we get that, right? And so the first thing that I want to bring up is that Instagram business profile is part of what makes all of this possible. If you're in Instagram a lot and you use it as part of your social strategy, you probably already have seen the difference, right, between a personal profile, creator types of profiles, and the Instagram business profile itself. The Instagram business profile is what gives us that opportunity to use a direct posting option, right? When you're scheduling through Fanbooster, you'll be able to do a single image post to your feed or a single video post to your feed directly. That means that you've got no other effort other than attaching an image, writing some text, and telling us when you want it to be published. It'll go out immediately, and that uses the official Instagram API, right? That's part of the Facebook marketing partnership that we're a part of, right? Now, so if we're looking at other things, right? Maybe you're trying to do a carousel post, and we're going to talk a little bit about that soon with Anna. If you're trying to do a multi-image, multi-video post as well, trying to post your stories, maybe you've got an IGTV video that you want to schedule out the next week or something like that. You're working with that as part of your strategy for your customers or for your own brand. Since those are not a part of Instagram's API currently, we do offer indirect posting options. And so what that means is that we'll send you a reminder. Let's say you schedule a multi-image carousel for next Thursday. We'll send you a reminder. We'll give you 3 different options. One is the Fanbooster mobile app. We'll send you a push notification reminding you, hey, it's time to post. Here are the videos or the pictures you wanted to post. Here's the copy that you wrote for it. And we also give you a couple other options. We can send that to you as a notification via email or through an SMS push as well. So those are the differences, and we just wanted to make sure that we were able to clarify that with you guys, right? We do give you the opportunity to schedule across multiple types of media, multiple types of assets that you want to schedule and publish officially with Instagram's API, with Facebook's partnership. What we can support as direct posting is that single image post to your feed or that single video post to your feed. And as Anna's going to bring up in a bit, multi-image carousels, multi-videos, all of these should be a part of your strategy in social media management. And we do hope, and there have been rumors in the past that Instagram and Facebook will eventually open up all of those things in that right column there to be a direct posting through their API. But until then, we do try to be as easy as we can be with the workflow to allow you guys to schedule those in Fanbooster as well. And if you guys have any questions on any of this, if this diagram is going to be a little too confusing, drop your question in that slot there, or that sidebar for GoToWebinar. We'll make sure to get to that for you guys. So the next thing that I wanted to bring up is a feature. It's something that you guys asked for, and for those of you who have been with us for a while, it's something that we used to do too, and we really are excited to bring this functionality to you. And that is the Instagram additional comment, or what some of you call Instagram first comment. And so what this allows you to do is, let's say you've got a post, you've got it scheduled for next Thursday, and I know that sometimes we prefer to keep that first, your actual copy for the post, keep it clean, leave your hashtags out of it. Some people prefer to use that in their second comment instead, right, or their first comment. And so what this allows you to do is, when you're scheduling your Instagram post, you attach your image, you write up your copy. We now give you another field. We're gonna actually be launching this next week. We're gonna give you a field called Instagram additional comment. And what you can do there is you can add some text, you can add some hashtags, and as soon as that post gets published by us directly to that Instagram profile, we're going to automatically as well add that comment. Whatever text you wanted to add in that comment, we'll add in there as well. So we'll do some validations, of course, as we've done in the past, meaning that Instagram has some limitations on you not being able to surpass 30 hashtags, right? And that's a combination. If you try to schedule a post with 30 hashtags, that second comment, right, that first comment rather, can't also have 30 hashtags. It's got to be a combination between both of those. But we do the validation on our end. We'll warn you in case you guys are going over the hashtag limit or the character count limit as well. So you'll be good to go. So we're really, really excited. I know a lot of you guys have been asking that. Support reached out to me over the last month about questions coming in about, hey, when are you guys bringing back first comment? That's an awesome functionality. So we're really excited to announce that. And kind of how I teased last month, this isn't the end. There's definitely a lot more coming as a sneak peek around that first comment. I don't want to say too much more, but stick around. Next month we'll have some awesome announcements there as well, some additional functionality coming in. And hopefully next week as well, you guys will see that you'll be able to actually add Instagram location tagging to your post as well. So those are some of the product updates that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, any questions, drop those in the question tab and GoToWebinar to try to get to those soon.
Okay, I'm going to take over the screen from you. And I'm going to walk through you know, changing your profile to a business profile, some of the extra benefits that you'll have from having that over a personal profile, and then just some quick tips and tricks that will make your Instagram performance better as you use it with Fanbooster. So a lot of you probably will already have a business version of your profile, so I won't take too much time to it. I'll just kind of breeze through it really quickly. But if you don't, or if you're missing any of these pieces in kind of beefing up everything that you can use in all the info on your profile, make sure you take a look at these benefits and you make sure and fill those out. So one thing you're allowed to do that you can't do on a personal profile is all the extra contact information. So where people can find you, how they can get a hold of you, and all that kind of thing you can have right in your bio on your business profile. You'll have access to ads and how those kind of play in tandem with your Facebook ad strategy, built-in e-commerce features. I'm sure you guys have seen that you're able to have clickable CTAs, shop now, learn more, that type of thing on posts. And then access to analytics. It'll be a lot of the same analytics that you get in your reports through Fanbooster, but sometimes it's helpful to see them as you're in the app. If there may be just personal preference ways you like them to be laid out, in the app you can see them sorted by reach or by likes. So that's something that you'll have access to as well that you won't have access to in a personal profile. The one real quick thing I want to note here is that you only have access to analytics retroactively from the point where you made it a business profile. So you want to do that as soon as possible so you can start seeing those analytics. You can't see the analytics for anything you posted before you made that change. So this is a quick video. If you haven't done this yet, this is just the really quick steps to converting to a business profile from a personal profile. The Traject Instagram is already a business profile, so I have used the so far empty profile that I have for my dog and the van conversion I'm doing. So we'll walk through this. We're just going to go to settings and then down to our account, and right there at the bottom, highlighted blue letter, switch to professional account, and we're a business. And then continue. This is really important, selecting your category so people can find you. And I typed in a couple letters here. You can see there's so many options. So play around with that, try a few different keywords. I'm selecting blog for this one. And then we continue, and that is showing my real personal information. If you want to send me a text, send me memes or something. You also need to connect your Facebook page so that if you want to connect the locations or the ads or anything like that, you have it connected to Facebook as well, and it adds an extra layer of validity. And then you go in, you want to change your website, all of your information that it asks for, so that your customers can see where to find you, all that sort of thing. And then you're done. So these are a few of my favorite tips and tricks. I mean, we could talk Instagram strategy till we're blue in the face for engagement, reach, all that sort of thing. So I just cherry picked a couple that I think could really bring any business's Instagram strategy a little bit head and shoulders above the rest. So the first thing I want everyone to kind of take note of is that you may see in a lot of stories people add links, or they say swipe up to do whatever, and you're like, why can't I do that? Or you know why, and you're like, I wish I could do that. It's because Instagram only lets people with more than 10,000 followers do that. However, on IGTV, anybody can add a link. So that's kind of a good workaround, especially if you want to add a CTA that specifically ties to a post or content you put on IGTV and maybe isn't as general as what you would want in your actual Instagram bio. The second thing is that, I mean, month over month, year over year, Instagram is reporting that the usage of stories just will not stop increasing. People really love stories. They watch them sometimes more than they see anything in the news feed. And there's also a lot more opportunities for engagement. So you can see in this picture on the side, these are some of the features that you can add to your stories. You can add questions where you can repost them with answers, add a DM me so people can just kind of do an easy one-click response and not have to go through the inbox or anything like that. You know, you can do a poll, you can challenge, have people rate things with the emoji, a countdown to kind of build up some excitement about either a live video or any sort of sale or anything like that you'd be doing. So all of those are things you can do in stories that you can't do as interactively in regular posts. So I would definitely take advantage of that. Something Reggie kind of alluded to earlier is the benefit of carousels. So this kind of solves the problem. You know, if you're seeing your organic reach dip a little bit in the newsfeed, carousels actually, they'll show the first picture and then people, you know, go past it or they leave the newsfeed. When they come back to the newsfeed again, it will reappear at the top, this time with the second picture. So it, you know, it doesn't do this infinite amount of times. You won't max out this, I guess, kind of hack, you could call it, by just filling up with 10 images in the carousel every time. So I would say maybe 2 to 3 would be the biggest benefit if this is the goal that you're trying to achieve, appearing organically in the newsfeed more times. That can help you. So again, the workaround there, if that's what you're trying to accomplish, is to use the indirect posting through Fanbooster rather than the direct posting for that specific one. Another one of my favorite tips is using a service like link in bio or any sort of landing page link tree feature for the website that you put in your bio. You can only put one website, unfortunately. So either it's always got to be your general website, or you have to switch it every time you've got a new CTA, a new featured thing that you're talking about in your posts. Or you can use one of these services. It's always one link, and then it will go to a landing page where people can pick and choose what they were looking for and which site or which landing page that they want to continue on to. The next thing is to claim your business location. So when you have a location that other people, you can see in the story options, people can tag it in their stories, people can tag the geotag in their Instagram posts. Not only is this an absolute goldmine for user-generated content, if people are tagging, you know, say you have a restaurant, they're tagging their meals or tagging their experience with their friends there, you know, you can really easily reach out to them and say, hey, would you mind if I repost this? And you know, that can just create a landslide of easy content for your page that is, you know, promoting the real experience. It also functions as part of your reputation management strategy. So something we're seeing happen more and more is people using Instagram kind of almost the way they would use Yelp, right? So when they're looking for places to eat, or they're looking for, you know, vacation destinations, hotels, or anything like that, they're going to the location and not even looking at the business's page, but just looking at all of the content that's been tagged at that location to see what it looks like, see what it really seems like, and what the genuine, authentic experience seems like for all the rest of the people that are tagging that place. So it can be a really important part of your reputation management strategy. And I'm going to walk through in the next one claiming your location so you have control over it, because it's a little bit, you have to go through Facebook, so it's a little bit more convoluted than you might think. And the last one is to use hashtags, which I'm also going to walk through easier ways to do that in Fanbooster next as well. But on Instagram, people can follow hashtags. So accounts that they don't follow but who post using the hashtags will show up in the news feed of the people who follow those hashtags as if they were following that account. So if someone, you know, just is following all hashtag, say it's me with my van and my kitty, you know, I'm following hashtag van life, I'll get every single post from everyone who's doing all their van conversions without having to go and follow them. They'll appear just in my newsfeed like normal. So let's walk through really quick claiming your location because you have to go to Facebook to do it. So you're going to sign into the Facebook mobile app, and you just want to make sure that you're enabling location services as well in your settings on your phone, so that when you check in, it's getting the exact right location for your business. And then a couple quick steps here. You will click to add a status just like you normally would if you're telling anybody what you were up to on Facebook, and you're going to select the check-in option, which is the one with the little location symbol. And you'll type in your business name and add a location. So the one important thing I'll note here is read it again, read it a third time, because once you make it, you can't edit it. So if you have a little typo in there, you'll probably need to start over and hope that people don't use the typo one and just make a little bit of an organizational issue. So make sure that that's all good to go. Read through all of these, the category and information that they're looking for, choose the correct category. And then you're just going to select the geolocation. You can put in the street address there if you want, or sometimes that will auto-populate if you're using location services. And add any other details you think are important, and then click that create in the top corner. The last step here is to claim your business, which will give you a little bit more control over it and will associate it with the business Facebook page. If you just listen to that whole thing about this is how you create it so that you're able to tag it on Instagram, and you're like, I don't need to do that. I've always been able to tag it on Instagram, but you don't know how it got there. That may be a good sign that the business was either created by someone else who wanted to tag it on Instagram, or was created automatically by pulling it from Wikipedia or anything like that, and it's not claimed yet by the actual business, which is something you want to do. So if that's you, whoops, I'm going to go back. You will just go onto Facebook, again, Facebook, not Instagram, search the location in the regular old search bar, and then there's a button that says, is this your business? And you can walk through those steps. So the last step I mentioned was using hashtags and how that can put you into the news feed of people who maybe don't follow you but are interested in you. So there's a couple of easy ways to do that in Fanbooster that will make it go a little bit more quickly if you use similar hashtags most of the time. I'm actually going to exit out of this and just dive into actual Fanbooster, because I think that might be a little bit easier to see the options. Reggie, you can still see my screen switching tabs, right?
Yep, I can see it.
So you guys know this is the composer. You've probably seen this one, and these are some good options. These are suggestions based on things that I've used in the past, hashtags that I usually combine with each other. Excuse me, guys. And then most popular, so this will be trending things. This may not be as relevant to your specific business, your industry, but still, useful. Just taking a look at this generally will tell you if something has come up that is useful to your business, just in general conversation. The one I want to show you guys that may be a little bit less obvious is the snippet one. So if you go here and you want to create a snippet, you can name it whatever you want, and then say, I generally use the same ones every time, so I'll type them all in there, and you can save it. And then every single time you want to use them, you just go to your snippets and you pop them in there. Easy peasy. And that's it for me on Instagram. I mentioned this a little before. I'll just let you guys know these few housekeeping things. This is a webinar we're having on Thursday afternoon. If you have a budding consulting business, you're a freelancer, you have a small agency, anything like that, we're going to talk about operational processes. So things that you can really get organized, get down on paper, you know, your onboarding process for new clients, your pricing, your sales process, anything like that, that will kind of get you organized and ready to go. And the last thing I want to quickly mention, I know we're all kind of new this together with being Fanbooster, but we're Fanbooster by Traject. We're still under the Traject family, and it's our social platform underneath all of the different marketing platforms we have at Traject. So the best way to reach us is still going to be social@whitelabel.com. And if you have any issues, you can find us. So I'm going to open it up now to questions about anything we talked about, questions about anything to do with the tool at all. This is a really open forum for you guys to get any sort of information that'll help you use Fanbooster.
So I saw a comment that came in here about business profiles, right? We've been talking a lot about them because there's so many benefits to using a business profile. And there's a note here about how business profiles can't add music. So I think that's talking about your stories, right? If you're creating a story post for Instagram business profile, you won't be able to just select the music option there and search through Instagram's music library to select some popular music to add to. So I don't know if you want to speak to that a little bit, Anna, but it is definitely a limitation there as far as what Instagram allows you to do as a business.
Yeah, I mean, could potentially be a limitation, could also be one of those things, you know, I'm always talking about how important it is to do things with the, you know, kind of the purest way, with the way you should really be engaging people and being authentic. So I think it's still really beneficial to be in the app with all the things you're doing on stories anyway. If you want to add music, add questions, because you can see everyone that's viewing it. You can create new posts based on the questions that they ask you and the way you're going back and forth like that. So we definitely, our goal in the features we create is definitely to save you some time with the known things that you're going to be putting out, but it's, in my opinion, just as important to be in there doing kind of the on-the-fly stuff. Wow, Reggie, you answered so many of these questions already while I was finishing. Reggie is typing away. I did see someone asking if there's a new place to log in with us being Fanbooster now. You'll be pushed wherever you need to go anyway. If you want to go there directly, it's just app@fanbooster.com. Or I'm sorry, app.fanbooster.com.
You cut off a little, so I assumed you said it correctly.
Oh, and then I told him myself.
Yeah. So there's a question about recording the webinar. I don't know if we are recording the webinar. Oh, it is being recorded actually.
Yes, so recording is always on the Traject YouTube channel. And there's a list for the social webinars in general, or social office hours. So I usually write a recap, and the video will be on YouTube, and the video will also be in the blog recap on the Fanbooster website. And I will also email it out to you guys as well with the same email that you use to register for this webinar.
So I comment here about some posts that are failing. So what I would recommend, so the email address that Anna has here, this will actually send you directly to our support team. With posts failing, there really could be a ton of different reasons why. It could be a password change for a specific network that triggered a security precaution that Facebook and Instagram are known to do, or even LinkedIn. It could be that, for example, LinkedIn, after 60 days, they require you to re-authenticate or reconnect your profile for security reasons. So there's really a lot of things that could cause it. I would recommend reaching out to support using that email address, and they'll try to fine tune and figure out the list, you know, like, hey, if it's not this, and they'll try to narrow it down so that we can understand what's causing those posts to be failed, and we'll make sure to help you take care of that so that you're publishing without having to worry about it. Looks like there was a question here about Instagram comments. So yes, we are working on Instagram additional comment. That functionality should be going out next week, and we'll do some notification messaging as well in the app. When you log in, you'll see some notifications around that. But yes, next week you'll be able to start adding or modifying your Instagram first or additional comment for your posts.
I see a question here about if we recommend deleting a personal Instagram if all you're using is a business. If you didn't switch the personal profile and you said, oh shoot, I want to do business one, and you just created a whole new business one from scratch, and the personal one is kind of obsolete but still in existence, in that case, I would delete the personal one if it's under the same name, because if anyone's trying to tag your business, that may add a step of confusion for them in there that would prevent them from tagging you, essentially. If they're actually separate functional profiles and you're not worried about there being a mix up there, then keep all the personal ones you want.
This is a great question here about Instagram images. So most of you know, Instagram's a little picky when it comes to the image dimensions, right? The aspect ratio for you to be able to publish an image on Instagram. And so what we have is we do have some validation in the system. So what that just means is that we're going to warn you if you do try to publish something that's either too tall or too wide for Instagram. We'll give you a little warning that says, hey, this image is too wide or too tall. Click here to edit. And we actually have a built-in image editor that will allow you to crop the image to the correct aspect ratio. And on the bottom of that image editor, you actually see a little notice that says okay for Instagram or not okay for Instagram. So it'll keep track as you update your crop if that's good or enough or not good enough for the Instagram post. And once you fine tune that, you hit save, that warning will go away and you'll be able to schedule that directly.
I also just saw someone, they like the Snippet tool. I think that's a great way to add hashtags. I should also add that I just quickly use it to add a couple of hashtags in my example, but you can write anything in there that will be a snippet. So if you have something, a boilerplate little sentence that you, for whatever you're posting, you need that to be at the bottom of every single post, throw that in there. Throw anything that you want easy templated access to, create a snippet out of it, and it'll be right there for you. Tutorials outside of Traject for detailed learning. Okay, so I have two favorites. The Social Media Examiner website, podcast, and the events they do have a lot of really great Instagram strategy. And then also with the Savvy Social podcast and a lot of her courses and a lot of her content, she always says every time I talk to her that just personally Instagram is her favorite social media platform and holds a special place in her heart. So a lot of it kind of reflects that, and she talks about that strategy a lot.
Some follow-up questions here about both the snippet tool and Instagram cropping. So yes, the snippet tool doesn't have to be used just for hashtags, like Anna was saying. anything that you want easy access to, you can use that snippet tool. We don't put up any warnings. We don't prevent you from saving snippets that aren't hashtags. If there's links you want to be sharing, if there's anything, a handle that you want to tag, you can add those. And that does play nicely too with our Instagram first comment functionality. You'll notice that when you go to use that feature starting next week, it will actually pull in from those snippets. So if you want to save a couple of hashtags or handles, whatever it is that you want to use for all of your Instagram or some of your Instagram first comments, you can pull those in as well.
Okay, this is a really great question. For Instagram hashtags, there's some rumors that if you post the same hashtags in the same order, you can get shadow banned. Do you know anything about this as far as the dangers of using Instagram hashtags? So for those of you guys who don't know, shadow banned is where you're not actually banned from posting anything or your followers seeing you. It's just you won't populate in those more general places where you can maybe touch people that don't follow you. So the discover page, people who follow hashtags, that sort of thing. So it's like being banned light. It's hard to say. Instagram doesn't, you know, they don't publish everything about why they do what they do in their algorithm. I would say as a general rule of thumb, we've talked about this quite a bit on past office hours of not wanting to send out the same tweets over and over again because it's against the rules of the API and you'll get shut down for acting like a bot. I would say it's a general rule of thumb. Don't send out the exact same thing over and over and over again, or you might get yourself in trouble. I think a good workaround for this that still allows you to use these features that make things a lot quicker and easier for you is to take a moment to sit down and create a few different snippets that all kind of accomplish the same thing. So you mix it up, but as you're using them after you take this time to set them up, it's still a one-click process for you. So, you know, hashtags 1, hashtags 2, hashtags 3, mix it up a little bit, the order, throw in some different ones. It's also just good for your testing. You know, some might work that you weren't expecting to work really well.
All right, looks like we've got a question there about, I'll let you answer the scrunchy question, but there's a question about Canva integrations for white labelers. So yeah, we talked about it in a couple office hours ago that, you know, we had brought Canva for our platform and people were so excited to be able to utilize that and let them know, hey, it's going to be a little bit until we're ready to launch that for white label users. So I believe as of last month, you should now in your white label settings have a new field that says insert your Canva API key. So as a reseller, as a white labeler, whether you're an agency or whatnot, if you've got your own domain that you're using for white labeling, you can actually go to Canva's website, apply for access to Canva's button. It's what they call it, the Canva button. And once you get that API key, you'll plug that into your white label settings in Fanbooster, and that will enable Canva to be used in your dashboard, in your white label dashboard. I believe there are some instructions in our help center. Let me see if I can kind of locate them and I'll respond to the chat with the link for you.
Awesome. So I'm going to address two incredibly critical issues right now. The first one is, I don't know where I got this scrunchie, probably just, I think like TJ Maxx or something. Thank you for asking. If you want your ponytails to be more voluminous, scrunchies are back. And the next important issue that I'm going to address is the question about the RSS feeds and where you can find that. So let me share my screen very quickly because it'll be easier to show you guys and we'll walk through it again. So I'm in, gotta get rid of all these GoToWebinar windows, make Reggie's face a little bit smaller here. Okay. So you're in Fanbooster, the RSS feed thing is part of Content Syndication. So you're going to find that on the menu under Publishing. And basically what this is, for any of you guys that don't know, don't use this, this is an automated way to pull any sort of content or articles or links or anything from all over the internet. So if you want to add in some more industry thought leadership things besides just the stuff that you're posting, this is where you can automate that. So you go to here and find content. If you want to do news and blogs, you'll choose this one. Now you can search for the ones that are already there, which is what I'm doing now, and then the list of options will populate. Where the RSS feed comes in, or knowing the RSS feed, is when, if you don't see it there, let's see, sounds like my dog is waking up. Is if you go to a random website, and I need the RSS feed for that, I just type in /RSS or /feed, and this is where you'll find it. So if this terrifying looking screen comes up, at least terrifying to me, you know you're in the right place. You can copy this and you can add it. And then, once you get all your other settings done correctly, these will populate onto the calendar as posts that you can add of, content from around the internet. Anybody who has any questions about that, or if that didn't totally answer the original question, I'd love to hear more about that, because I think that's such a powerful feature. And what I usually do is, oh, perfect. There's a question asking me about what I usually do with other settings. So I'll share again and I'll show you guys. Kind of a best practice that I recommend is changing the permissions. Whoops, sorry guys, I clicked the wrong one. So we'll just say I want to do the White Spark blog, and I add it. So to me, this is one of the most important parts. Require approval, and I select the profiles that I want these syndicated content posts to go out on. If you don't see the option here that you want, that just means you need to go back and add a new profile to the general project. So say I want to go out on Facebook and Twitter. You have a couple options here. As soon as the White Spark blog hits the upload button, selecting this option will make it immediately go out on your feed. This is another way. This is kind of a workaround to the same kind of thing that you're accomplishing by requiring approval. If you save it as a draft, it will populate as a draft in your calendar so you can see it, you can read it, be like, that looks good, or no, that looks maybe like it would be useless to my followers, I'm gonna get rid of that one. And then nothing goes out without you kind of being the gatekeeper to that content. Or if you have a posting schedule, you can have it go out the first empty posting slot after it's published without it taking a pit stop as a draft or as requiring approval for you to look at it. So I would say do this one, or if whoever is requiring approval is going to be really, really on top of it and they're, give their approval, maybe you could do it in the posting schedule. But just to be safe, you never really know what a publication is going to post. I would always just save it as draft so you can look at it before it goes out. So this is a place where you can add anything that you want to be in the post. So the text content of the post is usually just going to be the title of the article. If you have something in there that you think will always work. If you always want to say, hey, we thought this was a great article, you know, you can put something like that here. I wouldn't recommend doing that every time because that'll get a little repetitive, but maybe some of the time that'll work to automate it and add a little bit more text there. And you can add keywords. So say, you know, I only want every piece of content from the White Spark blog that mentions the keyword SEO. Stuff like that. The link frame feature is the same as it is in the rest of Fanbooster. And you can kind of move through these and choose things you want. These are all the same as the general post composer. And then you've set it up. And it's going to take a little while, so I can't show you guys right now, but you'll start to see on your general calendar, they'll start populating as drafts, the little gray boxes. I've tried syndication a couple times, but it generates too many posts. I've had the same problem before. I think that when I had that problem, it was before I knew that you could limit it by keywords and by things like that, which is really helpful to kind of narrowing it down a little bit. It can also be helpful if you select require approval and then select for it to go into your posting schedule. So it will only populate enough drafts as many posting schedule slots as you have, but it'll still give them that pit stop for you to look at it and say it's okay before it goes out. That could be another trick as well if you're feeling like you have too many. And I love the comment. I ended up having to delete a ton of stuff and spend more time deleting, because that's another thing that I also did before I learned another trick from Reggie about deleting content syndications, which is when you go into the syndication, switch it to list view. And if you switch all the syndicated posts to list view, then you can do the thing where you check the one checkbox at the top and check all of them and then delete them at once. This is from one person who sat there deleting every individual one until Reggie told me to another. Then that might help you guys.
It looks like it's resonating with them in the comments here.
Yeah, I can show that. Let me think. I'm trying to think which of our brands has the most syndicated content I can delete. And you know what it is? It's Authority Labs. So let me share again. And I'm going to jump over. So you guys can see I have so many gray ones that I didn't think were great that didn't go out. I can go to Content Syndication. Sorry guys, it's taking a moment. But it's kind of looks the same as on your calendar. With this option for list view. I apologize, guys. Let me see, are there some questions we can answer while this is loading?
I feel like the question syndication, you've already taken care of a lot of these. People just want to see that one-click tool, Anna.
Can you hear me, Reggie?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I think I had some sort of connectivity issue there. Okay, so
Okay.
Authority Labs, we're in our content performance, and this is one of my syndications. And I'm going to look at this as a list, click all of them, boom. About to delete 167. That sounds like a nice thing to not go through. Normally you would click this if they had been published. These stages dropped, I didn't publish them, but then you can just delete them like that.
Yeah, that saves a ton of time. And then sometimes you might have more than one syndication too. So if you just go from the regular calendar, then you can select tons. Like even if, like I like how there's that Sunday selection there. So if you just check off the Sunday box, it'll just delete the posts that are scheduled for Sunday. So there's a couple of different ways that the list view really helps you to select in bulk and delete in bulk and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is, the way I wanted to do it for that one syndication that I had set up before that maybe I'm not using, but I'll show you guys what Reggie's talking about. So this is how you normally look at it in month, and then as lists, these are literally every single one of your social posts. You can bulk delete by a lot of, you can even search and then bulk delete what you search by switching to that list view. Yeah, I think that when I learned that, I literally came to Reggie being like, there's got to be something that you guys can do on the back end to get rid of all of these. And he was like, duh, Anna, it's a good tool. Somebody shared a tip for everybody else in here that I forgot to mention when I was talking about when you create the syndication and you can add the before and after text in your settings, that the append text, and so that's a good option. I've used that one. You can all the normal hashtags that you want to go on every piece of syndicated content. So I'm going to repeat that really quick. It looks like I was having a little bit of an audio issue, but in the content syndication settings where you can add the template for the before and after text you want on every single one of those posts, the append text is also a good place to put a bunch of hashtags.
Got some really good questions today. I think people really wanted to get to know a little bit about the composer and some of these advanced things. I mean, we talk about how much Fanbooster can help you get done, and sometimes these, I wouldn't say smaller tools, but these things that are kind of like in the background that you maybe don't see very often, they can really help you with your workflow. So glad we were able to go through that one.
I'm seeing someone ask about creating generic tutorial videos using the tool. I guess it'd be cool to just let us know, you know, are you looking for content ideas of what those videos would be? You know, what we would say are the, you know, the top few core features that you need to use, or what more kind of information are you looking for to help you create these videos about how you use Fanbooster?
Yeah, the Instagram grid preview, there's a comment here. It's another hidden feature in quotes, right? That is awesome. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, Instagram grid preview is fantastic because you're scheduling a post to Instagram. You have that preview button in the composer, and for Instagram, you can cycle between previewing what it looks like in someone's newsfeed as it's just a regular post. You can switch to a grid preview too and see how that image is going to look like as an image on that 9-image grid preview that you can get when you look at your profile, for example. Anna, since you're sharing your screen there, would you mind just real quick showing us the Instagram grid preview? We had a question come in here, and I think it would be helpful if we can just show them on the screen how to get to that Instagram grid preview. It's super simple, guys. So you really just go to the composer, and anytime you're writing some copy, attaching an image, you'll always see the preview button in the composer on the bottom left.
Yep.
And I can take over the screen share if you'd like, Anna. That's
yeah, I'm trying to find one that has an Insta profile attached to it. Yeah,
gotcha.
if you have one ready to go, go for it.
All right, cool. Let me try to see if I can log in here, and yeah, I think I've got one. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, sometimes GoToWebinar doesn't play right with my computer. Let me share my screen. And let me know if you can see my screen here.
Yep.
All right, cool. So yeah, we'll jump into the composer here, move some of these windows around. And then that preview button that I'm talking about is right there on the bottom left. So I'll just type in a quick note in here. And I'll attach something that's probably already in my media library just for the sake of time here. That GoToWebinar is really taking a lot of my bandwidth right now. Let me just upload something from my computer instead. I might be able to pull something in there.
While you're loading that and getting that ready to go, someone made a good point for people who like the link frames. That plays better probably with syndicated content than anything else, because syndicated content is always going to be other people's content. If you want to add a link frame to keep your brand on it and top of mind while sharing other people's content, that's what that feature is there for.
Yeah, there you go. So I've got an image attached in here. As we can see, right, this is definitely way too tall for Instagram, but I kind of did that for a reason that it'll kind of help us when I show you guys real quick, because we had a question about that image editor. So click on that preview button, and then you'll see that Instagram preview. Now, since this is way too big, if I tried to publish this, it should give me a warning. So instead, you see that little icon there, a little picture icon? I can click on that and it should open up our image editor. And that will basically just allow you to start cropping the image. That bottom left there, we see if this is not okay for Instagram. That's the aspect ratio it must be within. I'm at 0.78, so I'm not too far. But I'll go ahead and do a crop here. Maybe I'll do square because that definitely works every single time, and it looks good when we're talking about the grid too. So I'll go ahead and apply that crop, and then I'll save that new image in there. And if I go into that preview again, right, we've got that post preview, and then we also have a grid preview. So this is going to pull in things that I've already published or things that are on my calendar to be published in the next couple of days. And it'll put in my image right there at the top. So these are things that I've got scheduled or things that are already in my feed. And then what I'm currently scheduling now will show up there as well. It's a great way for you to get a quick preview, get a quick look of how this image that you're working on, this post, is going to play well or not with the feed that you're doing. Looks like we're a little bit over time there, but some great questions for that.
Yeah, awesome questions. And this is also what it's all about. You guys bring things that you want to learn more about, even if it's not something that we planned to kind of give a little walkthrough on in the beginning. So keep bringing your questions. Next month, we'll see you guys again in November. And if you're looking for the recording of this, find it on YouTube, and then a few days later, you'll be able to find it on the blog with the recap right up.
There you go. Thanks everybody for joining in.
Thanks, guys. See you later.